You spent years in classrooms learning fractions, verbs, the causes of wars, and the names of poets, but none of that prepared you for how money actually behaves once you leave school. You remember long division, the date of some battle, and how photosynthesis works, but nobody explained why a 3.5% interest rate on a credit card is not the same as 3.5% in a savings account, or why that smiling mortgage salesperson is not your friend. Schools taught you how to pass tests, not how to make your money work for you or protect yourself from financial traps. What you needed was a course in real-world money, the rules, pitfalls, and strategies every adult should know before rent, taxes, and advertising start making decisions for them. In this video, I'm going to break down those lessons schools never taught, with real examples, numbers, and actionable steps you can start using today. Stay tuned, because by the end, you'll see why mastering these lessons could change everything about your financial future. Let's start with emergency cash. This is the single most immediate, non-negotiable lesson. The central bank's household study shows a surprising share of adults would need to find money another way for a $400 emergency. The exact language matters. Only about 63% of adults said they could cover a $400 emergency expense with cash or its equivalent. That means roughly 4 in 10 people would need to borrow, sell something, or skip bills when a small shock appears. Translate that into a household with a $4,000 monthly budget. A $400 expense is 10% of 1 month's budget. It's not large, but without a buffer, it becomes a crisis that leads to high-interest borrowing. The fix is simple. Prioritize a small, liquid buffer first. Put $1,000 away, then target 3 months of essential expenses. That emergency line prevents the cascade that turns a single repair into months of interest payments. Federal Reserve. Emergency cash is the safety valve that keeps you from destroying long-term plans to solve short-term pain. If you carry a $5,000 credit card balance and you get hit with a $400 bill, you pay interest on that $400 until you eliminate the balance. With average card APRs north of 20%, that $400 can cost you an extra $80 or more in the first year alone. Put another way, a $400 shock with no cash buffer is a forced transfer from your future self to lenders today. Next, separate income from resilience. People assume a high paycheck equals stability, but the math and survey data show otherwise. Median household income numbers sound reassuring until you look at median liquid savings. Many households with decent incomes still have little in hand. When you earn $80,000 a year but have only a few thousand in savings, you're one major bill away from expensive borrowing. The behavioral gap is the crucial piece. People treat income increases as permission to upgrade lifestyle rather than to shore up resilience. That's lifestyle creep. And it eats financial flexibility faster than any investment mistake. To fight it, treat raises as a chance to automate higher savings, not higher spending. When a raise lands, move half of it directly into savings automatically. If your raise is $500 per month net, set $250 to go straight to an investment or high-yield savings account. You won't miss money you never saw, and in 5 years you'll have an extra $15,000 plus whatever returns that generates. Retirement math punishes delay more than most people realize. Median retirement account balances are low. One data compilation shows median retirement savings per household are measured in the low thousands for many age brackets. One common headline figure places overall median retirement savings around the low tens of thousands depending on the metric used. The practical implication: delaying a decade can cut your retirement pot roughly in half for the same annual contributions, because compounding operates on an ever-growing base. Here's the arithmetic you can test with a calculator. Invest $5,000 per year at an assumed 7.5% average return. starting at age 25 and continuing for 40 years yields roughly $1.02 million. Start at 35 and do the same annual contributions for 30 years, and you get about $460,000. Those are not symbolic differences. They map straight to lifestyle in retirement. The single reliable lever is time, start early, and be consistent. Student loans are the next structural blind spot. The total outstanding student loan balance runs in the trillions, and many individual borrowers carry balances in the tens of thousands. The median borrower with outstanding loans often owes between $20,000 and $25,000. That debt affects hiring decisions, home purchases, and whether someone can save. The concrete move here is not just to compare monthly payments, it's to look at the total paid over time. If a student loan is $25,000 at 5% for 10 years, the monthly payment is about $265. Multiply back out and you pay roughly $31,800 total. $6,800 in interest. Now imagine carrying that while trying to save for a house or build an emergency fund. The right decisions start with full information. Ask for amortization schedules before borrowing for an education or refinance high-cost private loans when possible. Credit cards are designed to extract interest if you let them. Average APRs on credit cards in recent years have hovered around the low 20s% range. That matters, because carrying a balance turns discretionary spending into a costly habit. A single $5,000 balance at 22% APR accrues $1,100 in interest in 1 year if unpaid. That interest is the difference between being on track and being behind. The practical household plan: never carry a revolving balance on cards unless the interest rate is effectively zero, balance transfer promotions excluded, and you have a plan to clear it before the promo expires. Use cards for convenience and rewards only when you pay them off in full each month. If you have a balance, prioritize paying it down faster than investing in non-tax-advantaged accounts, because paying 22% interest is guaranteed return you can't beat by taking investment risk. Employer benefits are undervalued assets. Many people skip retirement contributions up to the match, or they overlook health savings accounts, commuter benefits, tuition assistance, or employee stock purchase plans. Missing an employer match is leaving guaranteed returns on the table. If your employer matches 50% of the first 6% of pay, you effectively get an immediate 50% return on that portion, no market risk required. That's the same as a 50% bonus, net of taxes. Capture the match before you spend a raise on lifestyle upgrades. Claiming benefits is administrative work that pays reliably. In many cases, you reclaim the equivalent of thousands over a decade simply by enrolling and contributing the matched amount. The reality: getting these basics right is often higher leverage than chasing speculative investments. Fees and expense ratios are the silent long-term tax on returns. A 0.5% difference in expense ratio looks small in 1 year, but over 20 to 30 years that fraction compounds away a meaningful share of your nest egg. Suppose two funds both gross 7% annually, but one charges 0.5% and the other 0.75%. Over 30 years, $100,000 invested grows to about $761,220 at 7% minus 0.05% fee, and to about $671,562 at 7% minus 0.75% fee. That's nearly a $90,000 difference purely from fees. The practical rule: for broad market exposure, pick the lowest cost, well-diversified fund you can find and avoid expensive active management unless you understand and can measure the value added net of fees. Negotiation is a quantifiable skill most schools skipped. If you accept every first offer, you leave money on the table every year for the rest of your career. A well-timed raise negotiation that yields a 5%, 10% increase compounds annually. If you make $70,000 and secure a 7% raise through negotiation, that's $4,900 more this year, and if you maintain similar raises career-wide, it compounds into tens of thousands. Simple prep techniques work. No market pay for your role. Document recent accomplishments with measurable outcomes. Rehearse a short script and ask for the number. Practice improves outcomes, and the ROI on preparation is high. Home buying is often presented as the obvious wealth move, but it is nuanced. Purchasing a home builds equity, but it also locks up capital and brings transaction costs, down payment, closing costs, maintenance, property taxes, and insurance. If you buy a $300,000 house with a 20% down payment, you put $60,000 down. Monthly carrying costs include mortgage interest, taxes, insurance, and maintenance. On the other hand, renting while investing the difference in a diversified portfolio can outpace home equity growth in certain markets and timelines. The right choice depends on local price trends, how long you'll stay, and your liquidity needs. Treat a home as a leveraged investment with costs, not a guaranteed path to wealth. Insurance is one of those invisible protections that saves entire plans from unraveling. Disability insurance is more critical than many realize because losing the ability to work removes the primary income stream. If your paycheck is $5,000 a month and you're uninsured for disability, a year out of work costs $60,000 in lost income. Even basic short-term disability coverage or private policies for income replacement reduce the chance that you touch savings meant for long-term goals. Life insurance protects dependents' future cash flows. Shop for term policies. They are inexpensive relative to the cost of leaving dependents exposed. Reading contracts and statements is a practical survival skill. APR versus AP changes the effective cost of borrowing or the effective yield of savings. Prepayment penalties, origination fees, and balloon payments all change the economics of a loan. When a financing offer looks attractive on monthly payments, convert it to total dollars and effective interest cost. If a $399 monthly payment is for 72 months, multiply to get $28,728 total paid. Compare that to a $23,000 sticker price. The difference is interest and fees. The advisor at the table often uses benign language, but the numbers are what matter. Credit scores matter far beyond loan rates. They affect insurance premiums, rent applications, and even job screenings for certain roles. The mechanics are simple yet often ignored. Payment history is the single most important factor, followed by credit utilization, how much of your available credit you're using, length of credit history, new credit, and credit mix. Keeping utilization under 30% and never missing payments moves score quickly. Use free credit reports annually to monitor for errors and fraud. A 10-point increase in score can reduce interest costs materially on new borrowing. Taxes are more than a yearly chore, they are a lever. Tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks, IRAs, and HSAs change effective returns and should be used strategically. Small timing moves, shifting income, or recognizing deductions in specific years can lower marginal tax rates and improve net returns. Work with a competent tax planner when your situation gets complex, because the rules around capital gains, retirement distributions, and tax loss harvesting matter at scale. The gig economy can add income, but time is scarce. Not all side hustles are equal. Driving for a rideshare pays hourly but wears you down and produces low net after costs. Building a niche freelance skill, copywriting for a particular industry, specialized design work, or coding for a specific framework creates repeatable higher-margin income that scales. The right side hustle leverages skills you already have and gradually builds a client base that pays more per hour than ad hoc gigs. Automation is the behavior hack that wins. People set savings as a willpower test and lose. Automatic payroll deductions, recurring transfers, and automatic investment of dividends remove the emotional decision. A plan that increases your contributions automatically with raises compounds faster because you avoid lifestyle creep. Set it once and the mechanical process keeps working while your attention goes to higher priorities. Small recurring fees are stealth drains. Subscriptions add up. If you pay $15 a month for a service you rarely use, that's $180 a year. 10 small subscriptions at $10 a month each cost $1,200 a year. Audit subscriptions quarterly and cancel what you don't use. That money funnels directly into savings when you treat it as found dollars. The cost of advice matters. Financial advisors charge fees that must be offset by better outcomes. If an advisor charges 1% of assets and you earn 6% gross, you net 5% after fees. You must judge whether the advisor's decisions justify that 1%. Fiduciary advisors who charge a flat fee and avoid commissions are often the better option for most households. Learn enough to evaluate advice so you don't trade your fee for mediocre outcomes. If you found these lessons helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more practical money tips, and drop a comment sharing which lesson surprised you the most. Don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss what's coming next.